to everybody. I have not yet slept, ladies and gentlemen, for the last 48 hours, and all because here in America we celebrated probably the biggest day of America for the last, 10 years. This is the biggest day ever. October 13, 2025 will show the world that America is still the leader when it comes to leading the whole planet of 190 civilized countries to peace and a real path to prosperity. All because of Donald Trump. President Donald Trump exemplified what a peace leader is all about. Everybody was predicting here that it will take 10 years. 10 bitter, endless blood killing of babies. Babies being mangled by the Hamas group. All ended because of the leadership of President Trump explaining to the Hamas group that the path to peace is better than the current war. And if I may say, but I am not a Muslim, by the wisdom of Allah, the Hamas group was able to understand that very well. And everybody here in America, everyone, last night was celebrating. We put aside our differences, okay? I won't mention the names, but they know it already. I put aside it and prayed that this day will happen, and it happened. Jesus Christ was able to make it happen as well. So I'm not a priest or a pastor, but I know my theology very well. And we have to look at it on a universal point of view where God exists. That we cannot, we are not animals. Of course we have differences. And that's why we settle it in the court of law. But I know the law sometimes doesn't work. Then, as I said, the next step would be to amend the legal constitution. That's how it works. That's why despite all the flack of America, despite all the endless negativity by the paid press against President Trump. By the way, I am not siding with Trump. I am siding with great leadership. And that is why I am telling you right now, President Trump is the greatest president of all time. I am siding based on facts, based on achievements. And therefore, our friends in the other side who are paid journalists must be exposed. I am a journalist that cites the facts and proposes opinion to my given beloved viewers, who I will never fool in the name of money. Of course, we have sponsors. They pay us, but they do not pay us to lie, to fabricate or twist the truth to whatever flavor the sponsor wants. No way. No way. No way, Ramon. No way, Roberto. This is Gavin Bautista, the real super deal. And therefore, I'd like to sincerely congratulate President Donald Trump and his team, led by, of course, Secretary of State, the greatest of all time, Marco Rubio, his son-in-law, did a spectacular job, Mr. Jared Kushner, supported by his wife, who I believe has turned to the Jewish religion. Congratulations, Miss Ivanka Trump. And of course, there is the irrepressible Donald Trump Jr. and his team of professionals that supported this thing day in, day out. And the unbelievable event happened. Because everybody here, including me, was predicting that this problem, this probably worse than World War II, because the way the death machine, I call it, was just devastating both sides, had to be stopped. And of course, I don't want to mention the Democrats right now because they might say that I am biased with President Trump. But the fact remains is that because of the leadership of President Trump and his all-star team, the impossible happened. And I congratulate also the both sides. Of course, Bibi Netanyahu, the great supreme leader of Israel, who did an unbelievable job. Because as I was telling my investors here, last October 7, 2 years ago, they were attacked. They were just, you know, the Israelites were just, eating dinner and, you know, having a good time, and all of a sudden, as if there was World War III already, the parachutes flew in and they just, you know, sprayed them with gunfire. And I won't mention you already, but it was probably the worst that could be done in any civilized city all over the world, was done with the citizens of Bibi Netanyahu. Unbelievable. He compromised the impossible. And on the other hand, the Qatar group wanted to make sure that the Hamas and Hezbollah, everybody had to say, you know, let's stop this nonsense once and for all, because these are done by barbarians, by animals. And history is being written right now. That at least the Hamas group, led by the Qatar royalty, was able to make them realize that this is the worst way to handle the situation. And the only way is the path to peace. And now we are leading to hopefully a fast track this nonsense, because if you only knew that so many deaths on both sides, it's not worth it. Now people from Gaza are now returning back to their homeland. All for what? Right? All for what? Because of vengeance? And then look at the downside of the vengeance side. And that's why there is a feeling of a miracle about to happen here right now, because of the spectacular breakthrough of both sides, of Israel and the Muslims and the people of Gaza, that finally they have realized that they made a mistake, that Gaza will never ever do this again. In the first place, they should have done it. But what can we do? It has already been done. And I think the process, again, the level-to-level process, which is spectacular again, done by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, will be fast-tracked again. And everybody knows that the team of Donald Trump on both the side of the Europeans, the Israelites, and the Muslim royal community is there to support him 100%. And I am very, very bullish about the Middle East right now. I think the Middle East is headed towards one of their most prosperous, if not the most prosperous era in Middle Eastern history. I cannot believe it, but as I said, it happened. All because of President Donald Trump and his team. All-star cast results into big-time historical results. And that's why I always tell my investors right now that now is the time to pour in the money. And we will not only just pour in the money, but as I said, we will use this channel to educate properly the people, not to repeat the bad side of history. Because nobody in history will show that they became happy, prosperous, wealthy because of death. They became prosperous because of new inventions and civilized society, not the society that is happening even in the Philippines. And I'd like to say very clearly, because I have not yet slept and not even had dinner for the last 2 days. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I can tell you. The investors in America are pouring. And they believe 100% in the leadership of President Donald Trump and his spectacular, solid team. They tried to break it, but now the team is uniting again. That's America. Very professional. Very, very high class. Not low class. Because some people are making it low class, you know. I was just in Houston. And again, they followed me again. You know, that's why George Bush probably is again saying, when I met Jeb Bush in Irvine, California, you have that paparazzi again, Mr. Bautista. That's why we're kind of afraid of you. You might be siding with, you know, the certain terrorists. No. I said, these scalawags like Managat, Wendell Managat, Jerry Francia, Criselda Sandoval, and the list goes on, are not part of Midwestern Business Advisors, LLC, with 9 divisions right now in the United States of America. We are not associated with this low class Filipinos who want to associate with me. No, we are not. Absolutely not. That's why we have this channel to inform you regularly on what is the latest out there so you won't be duped. In fact, we are creating a newspaper that will list these names. And this will be distributed all over the 50 states of the United States, plus its trust territories. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure to watch out for it, because we will only charge you $4 for this piece of valuable information that we will release only on a weekly basis. And as I told you a while ago, we are increasing the level of journalistic standards. We will never do what these scalawag journalists are doing to Donald Trump. Everything that Trump says, find a hole. Find a hole. What is that? just make up some story and come out with a negative statement. We will tell them who they are. And as I said to the team of President Donald Trump Jr., please file charges against them, legal charges. That's the only way to stop this nonsense. That is the only way to stop the endless prosperity levels of America. I don't want to even call it as a renaissance. I would like to call it the new American Trump leadership of prosperity under President Donald Trump. And it is sad they continue to do it, but it's very clear that the American populace and the world is listening to me right now, because they checked me out and I delivered for them, especially for these multinational companies. Because gone are the days that when an executive is released, he can no longer be, how do I call it in diplomatic terms, harassed. His family will not be harassed. His brother, sister's wife, grandfather, grandmother will not be harassed. There will be a law on that. Because if not, that company will be exposed. And ladies and gentlemen, if that is true in America, which you know how Americans are, it will make America, in my very, very strong projection, reach a gross national product of about 8%. Overnight, everybody will be stopping to buy, you know, how do they call it? Second-class products. But again, they will find high quality in American products, and if it's made in America under the leadership of Donald Trump, it must be really good, because it is guaranteed to be the best product in the world at the best possible price with attached services. How can you beat that? And that is why I am here in America, to spearhead that direction, that if you buy made in America, you get more. Not only the fact that the Spirit of God is in America, because Americans are very good people at large. Of course, there are some that up to now, as I said, we will list them down per state, that they have to be deported. Deported. And they know who they are. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, as that black lady would say. Gavin, you Asians clean your shit, and we blacks clean our shit. And the whites will clean their shit, and the Hispanics will clean their shit. And look what's going to happen. I think we will have so much excess in surplus money that we can share. Look what's happening in Oklahoma City. Look what is happening in Oklahoma City. A guy weeping, crying, telling me this never happened in Oklahoma City when I was here for the last 25 years. Roads are being paved. Bridges are being reconstructed. Jobs are being created. People are getting wealthy. All because of the leadership of Governor Kevin Stitt. And we in the private sector have responded actively. And look what's happening. People are making money. People are getting wealthy. We are building a very prosperous state, which was what? Nothing. Oklahoma was dirt, nothing 8 years ago. Nothing. But look at it now. Look at it now. And they are telling me all of these bad words, but you know, I want to shout it out because we're already sick and tired of all this nonsense. Just a while ago, the good wife of the martyred saint, if I may say, Mr. Charlie Kirk, was given the highest honor, the medal, I think the Medal of Freedom, correct me if I'm wrong, by the president, who had to fly overnight all the way from the Middle East just to give her that Medal of Freedom. And congratulations, ma'am. What am I trying to say? Stop the killing. And get back to reality, guys, Americans. You know, don't be too violent. Okay? As we say in Japan, if you want to be violent, go to the violent room. There's a room there where you really shout out on all your bad problems, or these bad guys are hitting you. But you don't have to go to the nearest gun station and get the gun and shoot this guy. That's not done in America. That's done in an uncivilized nation. So you destroy America, you destroy yourself, and you destroy your family. Or should I say your whole family. And I tell you, Mrs. Kirk, I'm telling you right now, the guy who shot your husband, your great husband, your martyred husband, your patriot husband, one of the greatest Americans of all time, Charlie Kirk, their families who shot him are grieving and realizing they made a mistake. And sad to say, the tragedy cycle now is they will apologize. Come on, America. You shoot a guy, you made a mistake, you apologize. What a cycle. The worst cycle of stupidity, really, and lack of civility or manners, or even you cannot, there's no word to describe what you did. And therefore, as I would like to say, the only way to do it is to deport this person. If not, it's very sad, but we don't know what's going to happen next. So in the name of Charlie Kirk, to all the senators, congressmen, mayors, councilwomen, council members, let us now propose a law, the Charlie Kirk law, that we have to deport these animals who at the end of the day will say, I made a mistake, I'm now apologizing to Mrs. Kirk. Oh my God. Can't get any worse than that. And what happened to Kavanaugh? It's endless. We have to create a law to deport the whole family first thing tomorrow morning. And we can charge it to Uncle Sam. And the whole nation will be so happy. We cannot be bounded by this archaic constitution. Because let's face it, come on, let's be honest. The achievements of Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, has been surpassed. He surpassed what Thomas Jefferson has done. He has surpassed what Abraham Lincoln has done. He has surpassed almost all the presidents have done in less than a year. In less than a year. So, to our friends on the Democrat side, come on. Let's start focusing on achievements one by one. What have you done for America? And what has President Trump done for America? As I was telling them a while ago, I had a call overseas last night. That's why up to now I don't, because the investors are coming in, ladies and gentlemen. Most of them are asking one simple question. Why is America so violent? I don't want to invest there. Don't want to invest there. Why is America so violent? And I told them, I myself am confused because, you know, when I joined so many of these multinational corporations, in fact, they're all listening to me. Nestle, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Colgate-Palmolive, Kimberly-Clark, everybody listens to me. Because there, we have a culture of civility. We create plans that are impeccable in order to give our investors what is due to them. And if that does not happen, ladies and gentlemen, we tender our irrevocable resignation because we made a mistake. It's not the mistake of the investor. It's not the mistake of anybody except me. I take full responsibility for that. And that was the standard of America. They're changing it. They're making it third world. Why blame me? Blame this guy. And then before you know it, okay, I'll see you out and I'll shoot you. And that's what happened recently to the CEO of United Healthcare. So, the CEO of the United Healthcare died. In cold blood, just like Charlie Kirk. And then the guy now goes to a trial, and he apologizes, obviously, because he said, oh my God, I made a mistake because I was so mad at him. Is that the right way to do it? All because we have a constitution? A constitution that is... Excuse me about that. A constitution that is archaic. A constitution that is not according to the signs of the times. Actually, a constitution that is third world. It must be amended at all costs. In order to save America, in order to save lives. In other words, are we going to be dictated by this 22-year-old? Who knows? Tomorrow morning there might be shootout again. It happened already a while ago in South Carolina. And now it's North Carolina. I'm all confused. And there's no stopping this animals labeled as young adults. Who is destroying America? And I think you know who already. You know. But we cannot say it on the air right now because we want to be 100% sure. We know. We are not fools, as the great King Charles would say. Don't be a fool. We're not fools, especially America. Oh my God, man. Don't do it here. Do it in a third world country like the Philippines. Managat, go back home. Don't do it here. You're not ready for big time America. You're nothing but a criminal. Okay? So don't, follow me in a paparazzi and act like funny, because that's done in a third world country like the Philippines, not in the United States of America. Yeah, and you can tell Concepcion to be with you to get that flight tomorrow morning. I repeat, Managat, Wendell R. Managat, call up Concepcion, okay? And give you that ticket and get out of here. Because if not, I'm telling you right now, you are going to jail with your whole family. Guaranteed. Because I think Christine Home already knows about you, because you've been maligning me for quite some time. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been maligned by so many people in the Philippines for the last 38 years. 38 years. And it's only now they say, oh, I didn't know that you didn't do that. I apologize. Oh my God. Oh my God. I apologize, Gavin, for what I said. This is from San Miguel Corporation, Arafam, Republic Flour Mills, and the list goes on, baby. Get out of here, boy. Or I pity your family. I pity them because of what you did to me. And this will all be in black and white, by the way. So there's no innuendos and half-baked truths. Ladies and gentlemen, I almost died. I don't. In fact, there is a statement in the Philippines that pasalamat ka, buhay ka pa. You should be thankful that I did not kill you. Pasalamat ka, buhay ka pa. And it happened so many times. And all I did was really one thing. I was guilty of breaking all-time high sales and marketing revenue records. I was guilty. All of the companies I made so effing rich. I was guilty of making the impossible possible. Just like what President Trump has done for America. But this is global. Mine is on the multinational level and transnational level. And now they're all apologizing. After 38 years. Ay, hindi ko pala kaya yun. Hindi ko pala kaya yun. Meaning to say, I can't do it. So you go to the investors and say, hey, investors, I couldn't make it. Especially now, Nelson Peltz is also listening to me. I apologize, Mr. Nelson Peltz. I apologize. Don't do it in America, because if you do it, you get into very bad trouble. And as I said, I think my proposal to deport all these worthless American citizens or illegals can be done overnight, because we've had it. We've had it. It's over. We are entering a new era of success for America that will not wait for 5, 10 years. No, it can be done, ladies and gentlemen. Whites, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, what have you. It can be done tomorrow morning. All because of President Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I'm sorry I promised you that this will be done yesterday, but I just couldn't do it because of, you cannot imagine the flood of investors coming in here. Thank you. Good night. To my friends in Japan, Tokyo, Japan, I'll be there very soon. Arigatou gozaimasu ne. President Donald Trump, I salute you, sir. You are the best president in the America that we all love. Good night, and see you soon.